This is Mehdi Hassan debating 20 like full-blown Nazis, like Hitler-loving, Sieg-heiling Nazis practically. One of them actually is openly. It's wild. Let's listen. His position, immigrants overall are good for America.
No, Daniela, you beat me.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, nice to meet you,
Medhi.
Daniela. So in regards to your claim, I just want to start by asking this. Do
Good Aryan woman we got here.
you care more about helping Americans or immigrants in this claim?
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant and an American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
No?
That's not true. Where'd you
Are you
get?
talking
What's the
about
basis of
people-
your claim for
Are you
that?
talking about people that get naturalized in the process of becoming
Yes.
American?
14th Amendment. Have you read it?
Okay, yes, I have.
Citizenship
I don't believe you.
clause. It
So
says
I'm-
any persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States.
I'm aware of that.
There's
I'm-
about 40 to 50 million naturalized
I'm
Americans
aware
in
of
this
that.
country.
Yes, but
You didn't seem aware of it because you said Americans versus immigrants.
So, but are you understanding that the process of getting all these immigrants that come in here we've been also, the millions of immigrants, it's up to the millions, it's the last 20 years now, and it has dramatically affected Americans here in the country, which
How? How has it affected Americans in the country to have immigrants here? The answer is it has not negatively affected us in any way, shape, or form, us being people in the United States. It has only improved conditions. You know why? When people are added to an economy, it improves the economy. It makes it grow, makes it larger. When you add people to the economy, like immigrants, it makes the United States more powerful economically. So I don't want to hear it. These people are so full of shit, it is ridiculous.
Positively, I would argue.
people like me and everyone around here, we cannot find homes or even get jobs within our own fields that we go to college for, that we get into debt for.
As he's going to point out in a second, unemployment is at a historic low. So that's just a lie. Immigrants are not your problem. Immigrants have never been your problem. The problem has always been right-wing populists who come around and try to blame everything on minority groups. And while they're doing that, while they're blaming minorities, they're increasing corruption. They're making things worse for everybody. They're refusing to raise the minimum wage. They're refusing to help anybody or make anything better. This is not an immigrant problem. This is a corruption problem. This is a nobody gives a fuck about you problem. And you, as the sucker that you are, seem to think that they do give a fuck about you.
And because more blue-collar work, especially in construction, agriculture, and so forth, and the hospitality industry, we cannot get jobs in those fields. So
I'll give it a fucking rest. You want to work in the construction industry? You can work in construction. What's stopping you? You know whose homes they're building? Other immigrants' homes, as well as yours and everyone else's. It's not like they're coming here from Mexico, building houses, and then leaving Mexico again. They live here too. A larger population means a larger economy, means a larger base of support for these candidates and that and everything else. It means more powerful. It absolutely blows me away that these people are willing to believe like anything, practically anything.
Are you looking for a job in construction
I'm
or
not.
agriculture?
No, I went
Just
to
checking.
college.
Okay.
Many people here are in college or went to college, but we can't even find jobs in our fields. Also because of the H-1B visa program as well. But in regards to just
This is just complete bullshit. This is just a fictitious lie. She has no idea what she's talking about. I'm not even convinced that it's her lie. I'm thinking maybe it's like the lie of some piece of shit that she's been listening to.
your claim about immigrants specifically, we cannot even get jobs to pay for housing.
Unemployment is at a record low right now, even under Donald Trump. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I would say unemployment under both Biden and Trump has been at record low levels.
Okay, is this in regards for American citizens?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm unaware of that statistic, but from what I see, from what I can
I'm an
see
immigrant
here,
and an American, and I employ
Sure.
many
And
American
my-
citizens,
and-
both naturalized and the ones born here.
And my-
I employ
my
Americans.
my parents came
Americans as defined by you.
my parents came as immigrants to become naturalized, so I'm not necessarily opposed
Oh,
to
wow.
immigrants.
So you're the child of immigrants.
Correct. I'm a child of immigrants. I was born
But you don't
here.
accept
Yeah, from where? From Germany? Goebel. It sounded like it said Goebbels. Yeah, that's a weird pronunciation, but it's still, I don't think it's technically incorrect. It was probably trying to pronounce it with an English accent with a touch of German by not using the R sound. Goebbels is the technically correct version. Goebbels, I believe. But anyway.
Immigrants are Americans.
Not at this moment.
So your parents are not Americans.
Not at this moment.
So hold
no,
on, your parents are
they're
not Americans.
citizens. They became.
Dude, wow. So you can be an American, but you can be a citizen, but you cannot be an American. You will never be an American unless you're born here. The degree of tribalism is fucking wild. I understand, like, people who live in Japan saying some shit like that because they've lived there for thousands of years, but this is a brand new country. It's only a few hundred years old. How can anybody with a straight face say, uh-oh, did I just get myself soft locked? No. Okay, we're good. How can anybody with a straight face say you're not an American if you moved here? Like, literally every fucking person moved here. That is wild.
Became naturalized.
You just said you can't be citizens by being naturalized.
No, I was born here, and I'm not opposed
you're born
to
here,
naturalization.
right?
I never
Are your
said that I'm against naturalization.
Are you against naturalization?
No, I never said I was against
You did.
naturalization.
You began. You're very. Everyone
Yeah, I feel like she literally just said that, right?
was here. They can play it back on YouTube. You said Americans or immigrants. Are your parents Americans or immigrants?
No, my parents are United States citizens.
But they're immigrants. You said.
No, they came here as immigrants. However, but
So they
I
are
want to make the
immigrants.
claim that we
I
cannot
came
even-
here as an immigrant. I'm an
But
immigrant.
at this point, when they came, the United
People
States
aren't happy with the way
economy,
this is going for you.
the United States
He's trying to fluster her, and I think it's working.
economy was not at.
It's better now. The American economy is better than it's been
Not
for
from
many
the-
years.
not from the
And I can say
statistics
that
I've
as someone who
seen.
doesn't
We
like
Okay, well, you're seeing nonsensical statistics, so sorry.
Donald Trump.
We're
Which
giving
statistics are you
millions
seeing?
and billions of dollars
Which
to
statistics are
people
you
of,
seeing?
minorities as well as
The reason the
immigrants
economy is doing badly now is
that
because Donald
we
Trump's
that we're
tariff
giving it to
policy.
loans. We can't
Nothing
even
to
get
do with
businesses.
migrants. In fact, the
They can't
congressional.
even start businesses.
I'm an immigrant. I started a business. In
No,
fact,
I
in
understand
fact,
because the SBA
immigrants
is
are
giving people
immigrants.
billions
I
of-
didn't.
Oh my god, she says you're getting loans from us. That's how you start. Give it a fucking rest, dude. These people are vile, evil pieces of trash, honestly.
Take any
They're
loans
giving
from
them
SBA.
billions.
I didn't
He said I didn't take any loans. And what's her answer now?
take any loans
I'm not
from
saying
SBA.
you did, but I'm
okay, well,
saying
I'm
that's-
saying
Well, that's what you're complaining about.
I did.
Statistically speaking, they're giving billions of
So
loans
should we do
to these people.
statistics? According to statistics, immigrants are 80% more likely to be entrepreneurs than native-born Americans.
Sure,
Are more likely
absolutely.
to start
No, I'm
businesses
aware of
and
that.
hire Americans.
No, I'm aware of
right?
that,
Immigrants
but
are
we
more
also-
likely to pay in taxes than take out in benefits.
And
They're more likely to add to innovation and jobs and wages. This is what the statistics show. The Congressional
yeah, I
Budget Office.
understand- I
Let me just finish my
understand
point and then let you come back
Okay,
in.
go
The
ahead.
Congressional Budget Office, which is bipartisan
He says I'll let you come back in, but really it's not up to him and he knows that. It's up to the clock, and it's going to run out before she has an opportunity.
Republicans and Democrats both use it. They have said that the immigration surge that you mentioned will lead to an extra $9 trillion of GDP over the next 10 years. That amounts to $65,000 per American household. That's $65,000 for each and every one of you holding up a red flag.
There you go. He knew that's what was happening.
Okay, I
All
understand
right,
that, but
pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your
Nice to
seat.
meet you.
nice to meet you. Thank you.
Okay, this dude, vile, evil piece of shit. He is, in my opinion, no better than the Nazi. He doesn't come out as a Nazi. The dude in the pink shirt doesn't, but he's just as bad in my opinion.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Medhi.
What's going on, man? Nice to meet you. All right, so first, before I start, I need to know what you mean by good. I can talk about the economy, I can talk about culture, I can talk
Great.
about all those things. I need
All
to
of
know
them.
what you mean.
All of them.
All of them.
I'm saying immigrants are good for the economy. They're good for
think lower
culture.
wages are
They're
good for the
for
economy?
society. Where's the lower wages?
What do you mean, where's the low?
It does not lower wages. Immigrants don't. Not like that. Not the way that Republicans want to portray. It does need to be, mitigated. It needs to be regulated to make sure that it doesn't, end up hurting the economy. But we have a pretty good grip on that, so...
Lower wages?
Where are the lower wages?
Yeah, so you can
What's
look
the
at the-
basis for saying there are lower wages?
Sure, so you can look at like the STEM industry. It's been in like a complete and total recession. There's been tons of studies like from the Economic Policy Institute that shows that like companies like Tesla, companies from like Silicon Valley, they engaged in mass firing of workers, around 35,000, but then they hired around 12,000 H-1B visas. And it's kind of just like...
Okay, but these are these are people that are still like working in the country. The economy still benefits from them spending money and stuff like that. Like, I don't understand.
just standard economic thinking.
Like, it's like when people say, He's like when they say, we shouldn't be giving NASA any money because the moon doesn't need all of that money. Why are we sending all the money to the moon? Dumbass, we're not sending money to the moon. You do realize that money is going into the US economy again, right? We're not sending piles of cash to the fucking moon in a rocket. You know that, don't you? It's like, by people being here, it's giving money velocity, is what it's called. They're giving money velocity. They're making it move more times before it hits its final bank account, where it will sit for the next 30 years. Giving money velocity is good. Spending money is good for the economy most of the time.
It's not standard economic thinking. The vast majority of economists and economic studies suggest that there is a negligible, if no impact on wages over time.
It's actually good for an economy to have an immigrant. There is literally no downside to having immigrants in the United States. There are only upsides. There's one reason, why anybody would not want immigrants in the United States.
That's not
immigrants. In fact, your colleague mentioned earlier, construction, there is actually evidence in construction, yes. But in some industries, in some areas, there is an impact. But overall, no. In fact, a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that migrants since 1965 have raised wages and raised innovation.
Who's that by?
National Bureau for Economic Research.
No, hold on. That's where you publish studies. I'm asking.
Oh, here we go. He's gonna nitpick and pretend that this has any relevance whatsoever. The fact is, this research study was published in a peer-reviewed journal, and it has been peer-reviewed and not retracted. It's been reproduced over and over and over again. It's true. It just is. You can argue it's not all you want, but I don't know what to tell you.
They memorize the names of the authors.
Yeah, I know you did. Right?
Can you give me the authors you've got?
Yeah, hold on. The study you're talking about is from
No, he's not going to give us the names of the authors. Okay.
Giovanni Perry, and what he did is he didn't account for aggregation issues, nor did
The
he.
vast majority of studies.
Let me speak,
Please.
Yeah, thank you. Right. So listen,
What a fucking prick, dude.
he didn't account for aggregation issues, right? And when you look at like the spatial approach, which is what all these economists use, you're not accounting for the fact that when immigrants come into an area, natives leave. If you look at an occupational approach where you look at the specific firms that immigration is going into, like Kim ETAL 2013 did, you find a net negative impact when there's a 10% increase of immigration. You find around a 0.5% decline in wages when it comes to the specific occupations they're going to.
So
all your studies are flawed.
So 0.5%. Weigh that up against what I just mentioned from the Congressional Budget Office, which is a massive boost in GDP per head, which you're not counting for, massive increase in tax revenue, immigrants actually funding the deficits and debts by paying way more in taxes proportionately, including undocumented immigrants. And what's interesting about wages is, I'm in a room full of, I don't know what to call you anymore, conservatives, Republicans,
Nazis?
I don't know. One of you has proudly said that.
Call us correct.
One of us proudly. Oh, yeah, correct. I'm in a room full of correct people, but do any of you actually care about wages? Because, for example,
I actually do,
for example,
right?
Do you support raising the minimum wage?
Absolutely, and you can't do that when you're bringing all these people coming into
that's
our
not
country.
the reason the Republican Party blocks the minimum wage. You think Republican politicians don't vote for an increase in minimum wage because they're worried about immigration?
Did I say I voted Republican? Did I say I voted Republican?
Well, I'm in a show that was called 25 far-right Republicans.
That doesn't mean I'm going to support every single Republican candidate.
So you and I, good. So you and I.
No, I mean, he just said, did I say a vote Republican? So you're telling me that you do vote Republican then?
Yeah, you and I, let's agree. We both support raising the minimum wage, yes?
100%.
$7.25 since 2009. It's lost 30% of its value. If you care about wages, we should be raising the minimum wage in this country, not scapegoating migrants who aren't the cause of low wages in the country. You know who's causing low wages? Billionaires, millionaires, and people who won't pay fair wages to their wages, regardless of whether you are an immigrant or a native.
I get the monologue, right?
Dude, this guy is like getting absolutely infuriated right now.
Now let me respond.
You had one with your one study that had a 0.5% impact. Go.
Yeah, and your study sucked that you didn't even know who wrote it, right?
Okay.
Let's get back to the point, right?
Because I don't need to.
And there it goes
study.
again. The
majority of studies say that wages are not impacted by migration.
The majority of your studies are flawed. That's what I'm telling you.
Not my studies.
Right.
Neither of us are economists. It's the economist studies.
Don't assume who I am.
He's not an economist. This kid isn't. He's not an economist. He's pretending to be an economist because he's been thinking about maybe getting into economics at some point. He says that in a second. He's not an economist. And he tries to own Medhi on this point. Please, you're such a fucking whatever.
Are you an economist?
I could be.
But are you?
No.
I could be.
Are you?
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you?
I'm going to
you?
major in economics,
Are
right?
you an economist?
No, not right now.
Okay, so when I said neither is economist, I was correct.
Just don't assume.
To use your favorite word.
See here, dude, this is nothing of substance. You look at the red flags; they're coming up. Let me get to
That's
the point.
great, but
so
you're
when
not
you
an
talk about
economist.
when you talk about the CBO, one thing you're not accounting for here is that they're assuming an equilibrium, right? Do you know what that means? You shouldn't make these type of assumptions. You said earlier that unemployment.
Do I
was
know
like
what it means? I thought we're not doing assumptions.
Okay, hold on. You mentioned we were like at 4.2% unemployment. Yeah, that's counting people who have part-time jobs. That's counting poverty
it's always
wages.
been counted.
Yeah,
I'm against poverty wages.
you
Can we
won't let
agree
me
again.
Yes, if you go to like the Lookwood Institute, they calculated a way where it's like functional unemployment. Okay, if you account for things like just people who make around $25,000 a year, people who have fallen out of the labor market, people who only work part-time, if you count all of those people together and then add on the unemployment, that's around 25% of the population. So when you go, we don't have jobs, we don't have people to do this, and that, and the other. No, yes, we do. Okay, we don't have a labor shortage. We have a good job shortage. And when you keep bringing these people in, and they're taking those jobs.
The good job shortage is the fault of big firms, employers. I'm an employer. I can say that.
The immigrants.
I don't think we have a good job shortage, honestly. You know what I think the problem is with our economy? There was a time 75 years ago in the 1950s where you could work a regular job, minimum wage even, and you could own a home and have a family and support that family on that minimum wage job. Because in the end, there's a certain amount of money in the United States, right? Let's see if I can get an answer here. It's kind of up in the air exactly how much, but there's about, say, $2.3 trillion in the United States. Now, if Elon Musk owns 400 billion of that 2.3 trillion, how much do you think I'm gonna have? If Elon Musk and if the top 10 people own 90% of that money, how much do you think the bottom 90% are going to have access to? It is a zero-sum game when we're dealing with numbers in this amount. There are about 20 trillion total in money supply, like most liquid forms of money. There are different kind of calculations for it or whatever, but the point is that the problem is the filthy rich refusing to pay taxes. They're dodging taxes, they're lying on their taxes, they're cheating, they're paying massive amounts of money to lobbying groups to get politicians to cut taxes for them so that it stays in their bank account, which destroys the economy even more because now the money doesn't have velocity. That's the issue.
Is the fault of big firms, employers. I'm an employer. I can say that.
The immigrants.
Who hires the immigrants?
Yeah.
Employers.
Exactly. So
But
when you bring up these big firms,
okay, so
that's
let me ask you a question.
Understand that, right?
So let me ask you a question. If you got rid of all immigrants coming in tomorrow, moratorium, you think that Republicans and employers of big firms would suddenly raise all the wages?
You notice how
That's
you
what
didn't
believe.
answer what I said. You
That's
notice
what
how
you
it
believe.
was a complete your ankles.
That's what you
all right.
believe.
You pivoted the hell
That's what
away
you
from the
believe.
conversation.
Is that what you? I'm on
Are
the
your ankles
subject.
okay?
Do you believe that wages? I'm just wondering how naive you are. You believe that the 1% will raise wages in the federal wage
they will
if
be
we
forced
stop
to.
immigrants?
Yeah, this dude is getting pissed off. They'll be forced to. No, they won't. That's the thing. You think they'll be forced to, but I've come to find that these fucking idiots, the people that are like on the boards of these organizations and stuff, will run themselves right into the side of a fucking mountain before they do anything to help society, to better anything at all. I mean, I've been on boards before, and I've seen how dysfunctional that they can be. It's insane. Some of the stupid shit that major company boards do, some of the stupid fucking decisions that they make. They will not be forced to do anything to better society. Even if they were forced to, they won't.
They will be forced to.
great
When you
being
increase
statement.
labor's relationship to capital, okay, and you give labor more bargaining power because you're
But
tightening the
this is a
supply
very
of
simplistic
labor.
understanding of economics because you're
Okay,
not-
explain I'm wrong.
I'm telling you how you're wrong.
here.
Because you're ignoring the fact that when immigrants come into an area, they spend money. They create jobs simply
About
through
one-
their
about
presence.
1/5 of their monthly income leaves the country.
That's a good thing also because you don't like US aid, foreign aid. So this is the point. They create.
Also, giving money velocity is good, period. And by the way, that money comes back to us in the end. It's US dollars. In some way, we are benefiting from that money, the US dollars being spent. This guy just lives in a delusion, a delusional world. I believe that this guy is an actual Nazi as well. I don't think that about all of them. I think that they're just right-wing nutcase suckers for most of it. But some of them are absolutely Nazis, and he's one of them.
Don't
I
assume
came
that.
into this country. So far, every one of my assumptions about you has been correct. But listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like. I should get
Dude said, get the hell out. I'm an immigrant. Get the hell out.
the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Why?
Because you come here and say all this bullshit
Why?
about how Americans are lazy.
Why?
You push your left-wing
I never
politics.
said Americans are
I don't
lazy.
know why you say this.
I never said Americans
yes,
are lazy.
You are.
The
You're,
only person
you're saying
attacking
immigrants
people
have
is
to
you.
come into this country so they can do jobs that we don't want to do.
I
That's
never said
exactly
those
what you
words.
said.
When did I say it?
Really? You
When did I
didn't
say
that?
it? We're
So
on
why do we-
YouTube. Guys watching on YouTube, rewind to the time where I said immigrants are doing jobs we don't want to do. When did I say those words? Words
You
that
said-
came out of my mouth.
Okay, so why
I
do we
thought
have to
we're
bring?
doing
Why do we have to bring in
assumptions, my
immigrants?
friend.
Why do we have to bring in immigrants to the country? If we
You know, that's a talking point. Immigrants do jobs we don't want to do. I think the more accurate and better framing is to say immigrants are doing jobs. All right, let me really think about how to frame it. Business owners are hiring immigrants for jobs at wages that are so low that no reasonable human being would ever take a job for that little bit of money, but they don't have an option because they are not like legalized. They're not being given the opportunity to do it like the right way. That quote unquote, there is no right way. There is no path to citizenship. And as a result, these people are taking advantage of these immigrants, and they don't have an opportunity to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, if you will, and that's lowering wages for everybody. That's really the argument.